Welcome back to the Approach Women program. This is lesson 13, day gaming. In this lesson, we're going to give you a complete A to Z model for meeting women and getting phone numbers during the day. We're going to be focusing on creating a connection because simply approaching direct and asking where they're from usually doesn't get you too far. You've probably found that out by now. If you've gotten some phone numbers, chances are that they're not very reliable. That's why I created the day game model. It's a very specific structure that we can always follow and that can consistently get us solid numbers. So here's the model. You do a direct approach, a light cold read, which is what we've been doing the last couple lessons, followed by a short story about yourself, followed by a basic what do you do question, followed by another short story about yourself, and then you go for the phone number. So we're going to take this apart piece by piece, and if you'd prefer to read about the model, there's a PDF provided below, so you can get a more in-depth look at it. But the first part is the direct approach, and this is what we've already been doing for a couple lessons now. It's basically, excuse me, this is kind of random, but I thought you were cute and I wanted to meet you. My name is X. And then you shake her hand. From there, you go to a light cold read, and since you've been doing direct approaches, you know that the direct approach is very powerful and it creates kind of a very nervous situation. And so the cold read is to kind of break the ice and calm things down. And what I always say and what we always say is you don't look like you're from wherever. And then from there, you relate the story about yourself. What you've probably noticed is when you say this, that you don't look like you're from wherever, you get very short, terse answers from them. You get, oh, no, I'm from California, or yes, I am from here. And that's it. You don't get a whole lot more than that. What we do here is that we basically pretend like she just asked the same question of ourselves. So for instance, I could say, oh, you don't look like you're from Boston. And she says, no, I'm actually from New York. And that's it. Then I basically launch into a story about myself as if she asked me where I was from, even though she didn't. And so I would immediately go into, oh, I was born in Texas, but I moved up here for school, and I've stayed up here ever since. That will usually spawn a conversation for a couple minutes. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, then you immediately go into the next part, which is, what do you do? And the way we phrase this question is, what do you do when you're not shopping, studying, walking to work, sitting in the park, whatever she's doing at that moment? Again, once you get her answer, you relate a story about yourself back to her. Women, the majority of the time, you're going to get really boring answers to this question. And what you're going to get a lot is you're going to get, I work, and you're going to get, I hang out with my friends. Obviously, those answers don't give you a whole lot. And so often when she gives you a really plain answer like that, I kind of put in a little bit of a joke. I say, oh, you work. Wow. I worked once. Or, oh, you hang out with your friends? That's really, not many people do that, something like that. And then I say, but seriously, what do you love to do? What's your favorite thing in the world? What are you passionate about? Something like that. Again, the point of this is to get down and understand what makes her tick and connect on a deeper level with her. Again, you pull this and you relate it to a story about yourself. So if she starts talking about dance, like she's a dancer and she really loves to dance and blah blah blah, I may relate that to music and how I love to perform and what significance that had in my life too. This basically spawns a little bit more of a personal and interesting conversation, and hopefully it lasts for a little more than a minute or two. So after that conversation runs out, usually by this point you've been talking to her from anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. From here I ask for a phone number. And I say this, I say, you seem pretty cool. We should meet up for coffee or something sometime. What's your number? You want it to be very low, non-committal, very casual. You don't want to be in her face, be like, oh my God, we got to go out sometime. You want to put as little pressure on her as possible. You just want to get the number, and and then you'll text her later. Typically, if you've made it this far, you'll always get the number. So here's an example of a possible conversation. Excuse me, this is kind of random, but I thought you were cute and I wanted to meet you. Oh, hi, thanks. You don't look like you're from Boston. No, I'm from New York. Really? What brings you up here? Oh, I came here for school. I go to Boston College. That's cool. I moved up here from Texas to study at BU. I liked it here, so I decided to stay. Oh, really? Where in Texas? Austin. It's the good part. It's not like the other parts. I see. I've never been before. You should go sometime. So what do you do when you're not shopping? Oh, study, hang out with friends. Wow, that's really unique. You study. Never would have guessed. I mean, what do you like to do? What's your favorite thing? Ha, oh, well, I'm into ballet. Really? Is that what you're in school for? Oh no, it's way too intense. But I've done it my whole life and performed a lot in high school. I miss it a lot. That's cool. I used to be way into music when I was younger, but it was the same thing. Too intense, so I eventually gave in and joined the real world. Oh really? What do you play? I play guitar. Have since I was 10 years old. Used to take it really seriously. Actually got accepted to Berklee, but decided music school wasn't my thing, so I went to BU instead. I'm really glad I did. Do you still play? Of course. Not nearly as much, but I've still got a guitar laying around. Do you still dance? Sometimes. Not very often. BC has an extracurricular class, but it's not very good. I see. That's too bad. Well, hey, you seem really cool. You want to meet up sometime and grab some coffee or a drink? Yeah, sure. Cool, let me get your number. Some other considerations. Don't be afraid to continue talking if you think of more topics to talk about. The two questions are meant to get you started in their bare minimum. If you and her click really well, consider taking her for coffee or ice cream right then and there. It's what's referred to as an insta date in the pickup industry. Some common mistakes. Guys dress like crap or are not well groomed. Should go without saying, but if you're out approaching women, you should look decent. Look like you actually, take a shower and take care of yourself. Guys who ignore personal space. Women need more personal space during the day. Also, approaching from behind or startling a woman when you approach is a huge no-no, and it's basically, you're done before you even started. So don't do that. So here's your exercise. Go out and do the day game model until you get 3 phone numbers. Whether it takes 20 approaches or 3 approaches, I don't care. Do it until you get 3 phone numbers. Come back and write about your experiences.